You are listening to the POSTCAST presented by the Locked On Senators podcast following a 4-1 loss in what was the first preseason game and also the first game of the day. A rare doubleheader. I'm Ross Levitan alongside at Laleem's Martian. We are officially into season 2 of the POSTCAST. Yes, we started in December, but season 2 is here. Pilsy is not. But Martian, what were your initial thoughts following that 4-1 loss?
Well, that looked like a preseason game to me, Ross. I don't know about you, but yeah, a little sloppy hockey to get things started here for the old Ottawa Senators. But either way, it was great to be back, and it was fun to watch some Sens hockey, right?
Yes, and it started out exactly how you'd like, with Tim Stützle opening the scoring. The only problem was that would be the only goal that the Sens would score. Max Gannett, a unreal stretch pass to spring Stützle down the left wing wall. Kind of a partial break. He gets positioning on the defenseman and puts it past Eric Källgren in goal for the Leafs because Matt Murray didn't want any of the smoke either today or tonight. But Martian, outside of that goal, was, pretty sloppy to say the least. Even that top line, they were pretty discombobulated at times.
Yeah, and we heard Claude Giroux admit to that in the intermission, the second intermission interview that he gave. He said, we're not very good right now, but we're going to get better. So it's kind of to be expected, right? 3 guys who have never played together, 2 of them coming off of, coming into a new team, a new organization, everything, kind of changed for them. So, you can't really expect them to start clicking right away, even though they've had a lot of time just in those pre-camp skates and things like that to kind of get to know each other a little bit better. But, it is what it is right now. I don't think anybody was really expecting them to go off for like 5 goals or something crazy like that. But hopefully they can get to that in the regular season, right?
Well, hopefully they can even get to that tonight. I'd like to see a few more get past Maple Leafs goaltending. But yeah, all in all, you saw some individual performances that you had to like. We'll get to our Sen Central standouts. Since this is the first postcast of the year, we're going to let everyone know how we're going to do it this year. It's going to be a little bit different. This aside, this is preseason. We're getting the cobwebs out as well. Pilsy's at the farm right now, but come Buffalo, Game 1, October 13th, the postcast is going to be well-oiled, just like the team, eh? We might have a couple good individual lines, Martian, but stringing a few together and making crisp outlet passes and throws to each other, it's going to take a little time. So the play is we're going to make it like a strict 20 minutes to start. And we're going to get the initial breakdown. We'll get one big thought from each of us. And then second segment is going to be our standouts, our Sen Central standouts. And then we're going to basically post that for everyone listening the next day. They go in their car. After, we're going to throw up the extra music, and then we'll just come back, shoot the breeze, get into the comments. Martian, I feel like that's a good way to break it up. We still get to interact with everybody and hang out, but that way the people who are on their way to work, they're not, getting the information in bits and pieces. We'll get it all out there first and then relax and shoot the breeze afterwards.
Yeah, we'll keep it organized for the first 25 or 20 minutes or so. And then after that outro music ends, it'll just kind of be a bit more of a hangout for us, I think, right? And we can do our regular postcast muddling around and, trying to work our way through breaking down those games. So I'm excited, Ross. It's going to be a fun season, I think. We're starting off here with the preseason with a little bit of a tough start, but I think we got a lot of really good days ahead of us here.
And a lot of days of Jake Sanderson playing National Hockey League action. This guy, you could see the confidence is there. A couple of those breakouts, he would go down and then just like put the puck between his legs backwards to his partner. Like the confidence level for him, albeit in preseason, certainly stood out to me among not a whole lot else today.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like this kid, we knew. We watched a good amount of UND games. I don't think everybody really got around to like watching UND for the last 2 seasons while he's been there. But I know you and I have, and I don't think either of us are surprised that the way he looks out there, even though it is just preseason. But like his leg strength and the way he gets down low on the puck and defends and. He stops a lot of great chances for the other team, and he did that. That was on display like crazy here even tonight or this afternoon against the Leafs in the preseason. Like that 2-on-1, like that's not an easy play to make. And then the way he kept up with Mitch Marner when most defenders would have got turned into a little bit of a turnstile there with him coming flying down the wing like that, and him being able to turn, open up, and then also, get those quick first few strides going to keep up with them. Really impressive. Like, Jake Sanderson is going to be in this league for a really long time, and this is just the beginning, but he already looks fantastic.
I'm pretty glad I declared myself a Travis Hamonic guy yesterday before today because,
Yeah.
a lot of people were hard on the pick going the other way, that third rounder who I bet 99.8% couldn't even name who the player ended up being selected. But you look at Hamonic, pretty sturdy hockey today. What was your assessment of his game?
Barely noticed him, which is perfect for Travis Hamonic, right? That's exactly what you expect out of him. He's this, very steady Eddie type defenseman, and the less you notice him, it's almost the better. Noticed a few different, crunching plays in the corners, and he had a few different chances from the point where he actually took a shot or two. But I mean, with Hamnick, he is what he is. You know what you're going to get, and I think he's that perfect kind of like steadying presence to be next to Sanderson as he tries to navigate his way into figuring out how to become an everyday NHLer. Which so far so good, I think, with those two guys.
Yeah, and JKP, and we're going to get to a bunch of the comments as well because we want this to be super interactive. Preseason action, snap it around a bunch too. Mentioning Sanderson's -2, he does say he showed well, but one of those minuses was empty net at the end of the game, and the other one was, I believe it was the Steve's goal, where it was just a wrister from Giordano that was going like way high in the slot, and it just gets that cheeky redirect off a shin pad. So I don't
No, it was
really put
actually
that.
it was the one before that one. It was
Oh,
the
right.
I can't remember who scored the goal, but it was the one where Zaitsev kind of looked lost in his own end there. He could have came out and challenged the shot a little better, I thought. But yeah, Sanderson kind of got caught circling around and cycling in the defensive zone. He kind of got caught a little bit too up high, and the rest of the players didn't really cycle with him. So that was the one where he caught that other minus. But I mean, he was the furthest cent away from the puck at that point, so I don't think we can really blame him there either.
Yeah, you're talking about the Hall goal, right? The wrister from the point?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that was a tough shift for our boy Igor, too. He had a missed clear where he really could have got that one out.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough game for Igor, I thought. I don't know what you thought, but I mean, it's going to take time for these guys to get into game shape and have their speed going, but he looked a little slow out there to me.
Yeah, he got hit hard a couple times, too. Simmons crunched him into the wall, and yeah, no, I'm sure he'll bounce back, and I know he wants to be a little bit better than that showing. A lot of the bottom six guys were pretty quiet. I mean, Jarventy had maybe the most hilarious play of the game, though. How about, I don't know if they're watching the PLL the other day, the lacrosse, because Watson goes way above the crossbar, and then to finish it off for good measure, Jarventy kind of whacks it right into the net. So outside of that, though, he was pretty quiet as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, Jarventy, yeah, he was super quiet other than that. But that was funny, eh? Like two blatant high sticks in a row, like right off one off to the other. It was pretty funny. It was like Watson high sticked it to the front of the net, and then Jarventy high sticked it down in. It was pretty good display of hand eye, but yeah, Jarventy was pretty quiet. Yeah. I mean, and we know him to be kind of quiet at times, so.
Yeah, but you want to see one of those guys step up because they each got shifts up the lineup. But again, we're not going to look too deeply into game one of the preseason, an afternoon game where you don't really know what's what and who's where. Like once we get past probably the Winnipeg game, as much as I hate to say it, and that's when I'm assuming they'll break down into like the AHL group and the NHL group. They'll probably keep 30 guys. Right now, when there's 59 guys out there, like it's just a bit of a mishmash. However, one of the battles that was on display, we saw Derek Brassard, we saw Dylan Gambrell. Who do you think stood out more out of those two guys?
Gambrell to me, I thought he was actually carrying the puck pretty well. He had a few different shots on goal, different chances. Brassard really didn't do a whole lot, in my opinion, out there today. Like when you talk about a guy who needs to like do something to make the team and prove himself, Brassard didn't really perform, in my opinion, in that regard. Like he didn't do anything that made me say like, "Oh, nice play by Brassard there." He was just kind of out there, And I think part of that might be, his line mates that he was on. I don't want to say that like who was he with? Del Cole and I can't remember.
Oh, well, Watson played with everybody. It felt like
Watson.
I think it was
Watson
defense
was out there
minister.
a ton.
Yeah, he was saying he thought he played 30 minutes. Like he was out there every other shift. It felt.
Yeah, that's a little too much Austin Watson for my liking, but I mean, when you're in a preseason game against the Leafs, I guess it's good to have like a veteran, solid, physical guy out there who can bump bodies and just kind of be a presence. But not really going to help a guy like Brassard. I don't think those two guys are going to find much chemistry together. They have very different play styles.
Yeah, not great. Hey, that Mitch Marner falls down pretty easy, hey?
Does he ever? Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
yeah. Like those, our rival fan bases, the Leafs and the Habs, love to give Timmy a hard time about going down pretty easy. But tonight it was definitely Marner who couldn't stand his skates, and apparently that 9 pounds of muscle that he put on apparently is not really helping him with his strength as much as maybe we think.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
was wild.
I mean, like, yeah, he was going down. Like he drew 2 penalties. Was it the first period? Were they both in
Yeah,
the
one
first
was on
period? I think.
Timmy. One was on Timmy in the first, I know, but I'm not sure what happened after. I know he drew another one. I don't know who it was on or if it was in the first or second.
Yeah, he was going down easily. So I mean,
Not a fan.
luckily Pilsy's not here because he
Oh
loves
yeah.
to dump on Mitch Marner. But
He would probably take Dylan Gambrell over Mitch Marner if there were only 2 players left on planet Earth and he needed one on his team to stay alive. He'd probably take Dylan Gambrell for better or worse, just out of
yeah,
out of pure just having to stick to his guns on that one. But all jokes aside, you look at what this Senators team brought. We got to see the Hamonic Sanderson pair that we touched on, that top line that Claude Giroux, and you referenced his intermission. They need some time, and that's why I like that the Sens are playing 8 preseason games. Seems like a lot of teams are playing 6. And
yeah.
Ottawa's got 2 extras, and I know they're going out east for those Kraft Hockeyville games. So I'd imagine Montreal's playing extra games as well, because I think Ottawa and Montreal play 3 times in the preseason as well. So I think they're going to need that with these new faces.
Yeah, I thought individually they looked good. Like their skill was kind of on display, right? When you look at Timmy, like with the goal and everything, like carrying the puck and making some nice moves and circling back when he doesn't see what he likes and just controlling the play a little bit. And then with DeBRINCAT, like you can obviously see that shot is next level. Like as soon as he releases it, it's fired right towards the net. So like to see that. And then Giroux as well. Like you could see his playmaking ability was there. Like he was looking. He has that great vision, but it just wasn't clicking quite like you'd want it to, except for on the power play, where I would say that like it was kind of clicking. Other than the fact that they didn't really score any. They didn't score any goals, but they were passing it around really nicely on the power play, which is a really good sign as well.
Well, they didn't get their first power play till the 3rd period. I was like, are we even going to get to see it?
Yeah. It was funny, right? Like I actually have a bit of a connection with that referee who Carter Sandlack is his name. He's a young referee, used to play in the OHL.
Wasn't his dad a
His
ref?
dad's Jim Sandlack, but his other son, Patrick Sandlack, is buddies with some of my cousins. I've known him since we were young. So I've always kind of followed that Sandlack clan a little bit. And Carter used to be a bit of an ass kicker back in the OHL. He used to fight a lot. So he likes to let the boys play. But he is one of those Southern Ontario guys, so I don't know where his allegiances
Getting
really
the
lie. So
conspiracy going.
I'm not trying to, I'm not saying it, but he's a young referee, and I think he's going to be a good referee. But there was a few soft calls, specifically that one on Sanderson, where he was coming back and chasing off the bench, and when you look at it, if you wanted to freeze frame it and you would see Sanderson's stick parallel to the ice in the gloves of, who was that?
Ferguson was in the second half of the game.
Yeah, like he was chasing him down, caught up to him, and then put his stick up, but like he barely touched him. It was kind of a soft call, right? So
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I understood you. I thought you meant the glove save. Sorry,
no,
I was
sorry, I'm
off
talking
track.
about the penalty there on Sanderson. I believe it was
Yeah.
his second penalty of the game after the one that was like a matching penalty or whatever. But this one was one where the Sens ended up going onto the penalty kill. But it was a bit of a soft call, I thought, but not what I would expect from young Carter Sandlin.
Mulligan,
Yeah,
thank you. I love Kirk Douglas there in the comments. Speaking of the comments, we should get into them right now. I know there's some questions coming in as well. Lots to talk about Nikita Zaitsev, and he almost impressed. Like that play to take it
started off
off,
good.
not the goal line, but at the top of the crease, and Talbot was sort of out of position, or the puck got there in a hurry, and he made a great defensive play. And
Yeah,
then it
he
was all
did.
downhill from there.
Yeah, it was downhill from there. I don't really know if I want to get into it. I might get a little too heated. I had so much deja vu from last year watching that style of defense from Nikita Zaitsev, where he just looks disinterested and like almost confused when he's in his own zone without the puck. I don't know. I really don't want to watch him all season, Ross. So let's hope that somebody on the right side can really step up and take his spot there, because holy moly, he's tough to watch at times.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the year it's going to happen, but Colby and others in the chat giving some stick taps to Max Gannett. We said the pass was unreal, but even the offensive awareness specifically and anticipation. When the puck's on his stick, he knows where he wants to go with it. There's no guessing in his game. He moves the puck, gets it quick, and gets it off his stick. So I think he's been a welcome progression from this offseason. He wears the C for the rookies at that tournament, and he's carried that confidence level into this preseason now.
Yeah, I like what I see. I've like what I've seen out of him in the last couple of weeks here with the rookie tournament, and then in this game now too. So, you could tell he's got those, just like he's got that offensive instinct, like vision that you need as a modern day defenseman in today's NHL to be able to break the puck out well. You need to make crisp passes, and it seems like he always kind of does that. The one thing that I will say that's maybe something that I noticed that's a little bit on the negative side with him, it's very similar to I find to Branstrom, where he just kind of gets bodied around a bit more in his own zone than you'd like to see. But he's still young too, so lots of time to figure that stuff out.
Yeah. What about Eric Branstrom? Always a polarizing figure. How'd you think he fared today?
He looked really good until he didn't, which is kind of standard Branstrom, right? Like, I don't know if you remember that one play specifically in the corner. I'm not sure if the Leaf player
Nylander or
yeah, like Nylander, I think might have tricked him and called for a pass out of the zone, and he just like no look backhanded it right to a Leafs player, and was just like, use your head a little bit more on that play, Branstrom. Like, take a peek, look over your shoulder, make sure you're giving it to the right guy, because that was just to me like a bit of a lazy play where he didn't even bother taking a look. He just passed one back, and then it led to a good scoring chance for the Leafs. So he's got to cut that shit out.
Graham's asking when Brand was solid. I thought that play where Nylander was playing with the puck behind Ottawa's net, and Brandstrom's like, no, we're done doing this, and separated body from puck, put him down on one knee, and they go out clean breakout the other way. So I think that was a good play. I thought then he had it with the puck on his stick, and he kind of shimmied Nylander at the offense or in the defensive side to have a clean play. Obviously got hit hard again from Wayne Simmons. I sent that tweet from Steve on Sens to one of my coworkers today. I thought it was hilarious, where I guess they were like testing some sort of protective equipment, and it's just this guy getting absolutely hammered. And at Steve on Sens quote tweeted and said, "This is Brandy on the breakout when guys are coming at him." But no. All jokes aside, I thought he was okay today. I mean, there were guys worse than him, and there was certainly some rust in his game as well. So. When you look at that, it's just one game. Let's see what can happen beyond, because he's probably on the outside looking in as it stands right now when it comes to a regular season roster spot.
Yeah, he's gonna have to show. I wonder how many preseason games they're gonna actually end up putting him into, because it's really like there's only a few battles in this camp where guys are gonna have to compete for jobs, and obviously like some of it's on the fourth line, but that bottom pair of defense isn't really set in stone either. I wouldn't say by any means, right? So he's gonna have to like basically bump either Holden or Zaitsev out of that spot. And his performance today was, although it was okay, like you said, that's not gonna do it. If you're gonna try to take somebody like a veteran's job, which he's gonna have to do. So I expect more from him all the time, basically.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we haven't spoken about this player yet, but Cam Talbot. We need your thoughts on him and how he settled into this one.
Yeah, and also, Ross, goalie friendly show here. Like, Mando had a hell of a game too. I thought.
Yes,
I say hell of a game. He made 11 saves, but he made
how many goals? 11. How many goals against?
Exactly. He made all the saves he could. So you got to give him credit there. But as far as Cam Talbot, I thought he looked really great up until
just
the
confident
end.
though, eh?
Yeah, like he comes out and he challenges shots. Like, he's fun. He's kind of a fun goalie to watch. Yeah, I never really realized how actually like fun.
Yeah, he's got a little Craig Anderson in him, I think.
Oh, is it the giveaway behind the net that made you think that?
A little bit.
little tough stick handling. I don't know. We got to keep our eyes on that. I actually thought about that, Ross, when I saw that. I'm like, that was a pretty good Craig Anderson impression by Cam Talbot there. Stop the puck behind the net, give it away, get back to the net, and then make a save.
Make a sick save,
yeah, it's kind of like he sets himself up to make a big save, but that's something to keep our eyes on for sure.
Yeah,
But
no, I
but in general,
overall,
I didn't think many of the goal. I mean,
well,
definitely
definitely not the third one. The
the
third
third
one off
one
the
was
shin
not
pad.
his
What are you
fault.
gonna do?
Yeah,
I wrote down how
and
each one happened. First one was that wrister after a long ozone shift. Guys were gassed. A little bit of a screen in front of the net. Second one was the giveaway by DeBRINCAT trying to put it in, or did put it in Timmy's feet at the blue line. Turned over 2-on-1. Zaitsev
yeah, you
just
can't
does what
stop
he.
that one.
This guy he plays every 2-on-1 like it's a fire drill. He just stop, drop, and roll. He's got no clue where the puck is, and it's clockwork. If I'm an offensive forward on a 2-on-1, it's the easiest play ever. Get speed, stop up, and he's just gonna keep going and then just find the seam play. So that second goal was the 2-on-1 pass across where Mulligan finished that one, and then the third goal was the Steve's redirect off the Giordano side shot, and Mando went in, and the fourth goal was the empty netter. So
Yeah.
can't blame the goalie on that one.
No, I don't think. Yeah, you can't really blame him on any of those. He made some great saves. What are you laughing
Yeah.
at now?
Oh, I just said you can't blame the goalie on an empty netter.
Oh no, you can't. It's hard to make a save from the
Um,
bench, Ross.
yeah, exactly. So no, that's all she wrote with that one. Well, when Zaitsev isn't playing well, the question is who's going to go in, and I want to get credit here to people asking questions in the chat. We appreciate that. I'll ask you the question, I'll get it as well afterwards. But who are you expecting to see in this second game between Lassie and JBD? Who are you hoping to see really step up?
Yeah, I hope they both step up. That would be a good problem to have if they both play really well. But I think, like to me, JBD, I would want to see JBD just play really sound, solid defense all night long. So,
I
um,
think one of them is going to be scratched though. They still haven't announced
yeah,
it, and you have to have 7D on the roster, either him or Jorian Donovan. But I think the day after getting his NHL contract, it's got to be
yeah,
him, right? I mean, if we're
I
going
don't
on
know.
merit, it should
It's
probably be Ben
almost impossible.
Rogers sitting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't get me started on Ben Roger right now either. But like, it's so hard to predict who's gonna get sat in preseason games because like
Right.
you really don't know. But I hope they're both in the lineup. It'd be great to watch them both. You're probably just
Just for
hoping they're gonna save
people.
him for Winnipeg, eh? Like save one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
guys for Winnipeg because
No. Well, here
they're
you go.
coming out there.
This is the lineup for this evening's matchup. The one guy who I'd imagine plays is Philip Daou. He's the only guy in both lineups, and he didn't play today.
Right. Well, maybe they put him on both lineups so they could scratch him both times. I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know how they make these decisions. But looking at this, I mean, you got to assume that Shabbat and Zub are both going to get in there for the split squad game. It's kind of light competition. They can kind of just get back in the groove of things together here. I don't know. Ben Rogers is interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in there either. So him and Jorian could be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, Ross. I have no idea.
I'm nervous with 55. I feel like it might be 22 backwards.
Oh yeah, it was a little bit of and I mean, this is just more like the fan base saying this, but like a little bit of Josh Brown in there maybe too in his blood.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
'cause
Well, Josh Brown at least
like
hits things.
the thing is too, right? He's so big and so raw, like he had like a massive growth spurt. I think he grew
Hmm.
4 inches
Yeah,
in
like
2 years
3 years
ago,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
And he hasn't played a ton either. So hopefully, like last year in Kingston was good like learning curve for him. But it'd be good for him to get into a preseason game before they cut him because inevitably he's going to be the next cut, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chandler Romeo didn't even get a game. I mean, seventh
Yeah,
rounder, but
tough.
those two looked like identical twins out there in the rookie tournament.
Yeah, pills he put out, they were the twin towers out there, but
Oh gosh,
they
he
were like
said it.
they
This
were
is where
like
it gets tough because like he puts out the tweet and then Chandler Romeo starts following him on Twitter. It's like tough.
so and yeah, and I know
It was a good joke though. It was funny.
And Chandler's family members and stuff are like following us on Twitter and things. I know that, so like you gotta be careful, right? You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but they're still
I'm
young, Ross.
exactly they are. They're big, and this way I think it's actually better because if Romeo's going to play 10 minutes in one preseason game eventually, or should he go down and really try to establish himself as a dominant 19-year-old now in the OHL?
Yeah, I mean that's what he should be doing. Yeah, absolutely. He's got to go back to the O. In my humble opinion,
Yeah.
uninformed. Humble opinion.
No, your opinion, it might be humble, but it is informed. So you know what we're going to do? I think it's a good way to do this because in training camp, especially, we said it here, like, yeah, on paper, it's technically a team, but it's mostly individuals when it comes to the preseason, right? Like you're focused on individuals.
For
Individuals are
some
trying to make a
guys, for
name
sure.
for
Yeah.
themselves and all that. So this is the lineup today. So I'm going to go through each player and give me like one sentence, and I'll hit you back with one sentence, how you'd sum up how they played today. Cam Talbot,
Not his fault.
Kevin Mandolese.
Very solid for Mando.
I think the goaltending as a whole, very solid is a nice word for it. Yeah, you have a little mistake, and Mando's rebound control, if I want to get picky on a couple ones, I would have liked to see them in the corner rather than pop out front, but it didn't. There was nobody there, so it was just kind of a nothing play. You scoop it up, you break it out. But if I wanted to nitpick him, but I did really like how he played, so I'll go solid there. We'll give the goaltending a B plus. B plus, B.
I think B's fine. No win.
B's fine. It's average. Yeah. No win. It's okay. 22.
Dumpster fire.
Travis Hamonic.
Did his job.
Yes, I actually really like that one there. With Zaitsev, like, I'm just lost on it. We've talked about him enough. It's been years of this. How many games do you think Nikita Zaitsev has played for the Ottawa Senators?
Ooh. They had a few shortened seasons. I don't remember him being injured a ton. Maybe 250?
No, 175, but that's still
yeah. It felt like 250, Ross.
It's felt like a lot more than that. I'm trying to find real quick where he is among all Ottawa Senators in games played, and he's actually, I think, probably a lot higher than you would expect. He is actually, here's a nice little comparable. Nikita Zaitsev and Chris Weidman have both played 175 games with the Sens.
I dislike both players greatly.
If I asked people in the chat, who do you think played for the Sens longer, Zaitsev or Chris Weidman, I'd be interested to know what people thought. But Weidman was also up and down. Maybe it's not the best comparable because he was, an up and coming guy. He won best defenseman in the AHL one year. Wild little Chris Weidman.
He could probably win it again, but
yeah, and maybe one day Eric Branstrom will win that. No, but in all seriousness, what did you think of Brandstrom's game today?
I thought it was up and down. He was up and down for me.
Yeah. Maxence Gannett, even though number 50 might be the worst number that you can give a hockey player.
Yeah, it was a sweet surprise, I thought. Like, I liked that he got on the board with that nice primary assist. Good breakout pass. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Christians Rubens, number 68.
I don't even know. I'm trying to come up with like a word that means like didn't matter much.
I feel like for him though, that's kind of good. Like I saw, like he handled the puck a couple times.
His name was getting called out there.
Yeah,
I'll just use the word okay.
I didn't realize he was so enormous, 6'5", 232.
Yeah, he looks huge out there, eh?
Yeah,
but with the name like Christians Rubens, you like that sounds like a big boy name.
Hey, Natty Hen, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but for that one, he or she writes, "Did he play?" ? Hey, how about Jake Sanderson being listed at 6'3"? I thought he was drafted at 6'0".
He looked big.
He is, yeah, no doubt.
He got drafted as 6'1", I believe, right, Ross?
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, he's still growing. For Jake Sanderson, just like excellent, I would say. Like he just looked excellent.
He really does. It's
as advertised.
Intricacies. Advertised. The real deal. As many
broadcast they were drooling over him on the Sportsnet broadcast, and I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. I'm sure the guys on the TSN broadcast as well, like a guy like Mathod is going to to be like really excited.
Cheryl Pounder's going to use it.
Both of them, yeah.
Every single defensive zone and the D zone coverage we're going to get to in more depth, but like it needs to be better as a team.
Yeah,
like,
he's so smart.
Lost sometimes, but yeah, he's unreal.
Yeah, he's so smart out there.
Do you think Tomas Hamara will get a game before he's sent back?
Yeah, he should.
Maybe he'll play in Winnipeg. I'd actually like to see him.
You're really trying to get that roster going, eh?
Well, no, I mean that's not really getting it going.
No, you know what? No, that would be fun. Like, yeah, he should get a game. Yeah, they got to get him and Jorian in there. Jorian. Yeah. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah, Hamara. He's the guy who I want to see play. Because sometimes they just keep him around. They let him work out, let him have some practice. And then you got to just send them back down. I figure because they're in Toronto, wouldn't it make sense to bring them to Toronto, let them play a game? Oh,
And then
there's an
kick him
echo,
back
by the
to
way.
Kitchener. Short
Yeah,
way home.
exactly. Short little drive.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know if it's on your mic or whatnot, but no, it's gone now. Okay, there's a bit of an echo there for a sec. All good. Moving to the forwards, Alex DeBRINCAT, a guy who everyone was also very anxious to see with the Sens jersey. Looks good in number 12.
Yes, he does. He looks excellent in a Sens jersey. So small though. Holy, he's so tiny.
Pint size.
Like when you see him get low and start skating hard, like he's just minuscule out there. It's awesome.
You know what? I would pay for a Alex DeBRINCAT Cole Caulfield fight this year.
So would I. I think DeBRINCAT would beat the brakes off of him.
I know. That's why
I don't think it'll ever happen, but that would be so Sens Habs for those two guys to go at it. Just a little short man fight. Love it.
I would absolutely love it. Jace Howerlick, I thought he was buzzing sometimes.
I didn't notice him a ton, Ross.
Really?
I don't know.
A couple shifts. He was getting in on the forecheck and creating havoc. And I thought it was the most interesting part of his game, though, is listed as right wing. So I don't know how that's going to switch things up. Guys are interchangeable, I know, but I just figured he'd be a guy they stick on the left side and forecheck's strong. But I actually like Jace. I like Jace Howerlick's game a bit more than I like Dawson Watson's game. Although he's so noticeable out there, he's noticeable doing a whole lot of not much.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really notice him a whole ton. But
Timmy?
if we're skipping, can we skip to Watson's next?
Yeah, I said
just
a whole lot of not doing much.
Frazzled out there to me.
Yeah,
he couldn't really handle the puck at all. He's just flying around.
Nick Spence says played at least 40 minutes. Felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Timmy, superstar.
He looked disinterested at times, but the skill was on display, and he got out of it without getting injured. So very nice. Yeah,
I'd forgotten he got injured at the World Championships.
Oh yeah,
remember a knee? He was out for just a couple
well,
weeks.
it was right after. It was still after that hit from Suzuki. I think it was still kind of bothering him a bit, right?
No, other knee. I think it was the other knee. I could be wrong.
Was it? I think it was the same. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe. Kevin Hemina, our boy. Hey, by the way, Kevin, that video the Red Blacks put out was awesome.
Money. That was
awesome.
Money. Yeah.
We love to see it, man. Keep doing you, man. You're a great part of the community. But he writes Howerlick's number had him confused. He thought it was Boosh out there wearing number 13. Because we know Kevin's at all the 67s games too.
Yeah, good call out by Kevin there. We're gonna have to clear up that number 13, I think, in a few years. So Jace, you're on watch there, big guy.
Yeah, well, Dylan Gambrell's been on watch for me because I didn't see a whole lot of much from him last year to earn like in pen right now. It seems like he's the guy at fourth line center, but I don't know. He had a 3-on-1 break where he decided to shoot and didn't really get a whole lot on it.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he missed the net, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, not as bad as Nylander in the first period when he tried to go backhand, and he would have missed a soccer net with that thing for maybe 3 feet out.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as Leafs goes, Nylander stood out in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
He looked good.
He did. He was good. What about Claude Giroux?
Very good. For me, I'm just excited to see him in a Sens jersey, right? Like he might not have done a whole ton out there, but it's just nice to see him skating around in a Sens jersey. Another guy who I thought looked a little bit disinterested. These guys are just cruising through, trying to get through the preseason here, right?
How about Graham writing again? Nylander wears a helmet like 13-year-olds wear hats, man. This thing is just as weird as it looks. I don't know if
it's on top of his head. It's not even on.
Yeah, I don't know which one's which, but it does look absolutely wild. I bet you Claude Giroux's self-assessment would be a lot more harsh than yours was there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was times where he could have probably gone a lot harder than he did that he just didn't because it's preseason. Yeah,
well, hopefully as it continues, I know they really do want chemistry. There's a play where Giroux had a great play to get it behind the net, and he threw it out. He thought he was going to have Stütz on the short side, but I think Timmy thought he was going to go around the net and do it, and it was just that miscommunication, and the puck turned over and went the other way. So I don't know. You hope that over time that gets a little bit easier as well. But yeah, Hot Lunch points out that Giroux and the rest of those boys, when they were out there for the 2, that they were snapping it around on that power play. You clipped that from the broadcast as well.
Yeah, they were really moving the puck around nicely on that power play, I thought, and he's a huge part of that. That really hard pass that came across from DeBRINCAT just was too hot to handle for him, and it probably came a little bit of as a surprise too because he was in a perfect shooting zone, right, to take that shot, I thought. But yeah, they'll get it going here soon. They're the least of my worries is that
No,
line.
not worried.
Yeah.
Not worried at all. Jake Lucchini.
Hey, what a nice little feature they did on Jake Lucchini and him and his grandfather. And
Yes.
how funny was it? How similar that they looked, eh? They
Oh,
were
yeah.
twins, like 2 generations removed or whatever, but he looked exactly like his grandpa. It's so cool. But yeah, I thought he was okay. Just
That's all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say the same for Roby, if not a little less than okay.
Yeah, I'd say I'd give like him like a what's the slang term that the kids are using now? Mid?
Yeah, he was
Your venti looked very mid to me.
very mid. I don't believe that he's 213.
You don't? You think he's
No.
heavier or lighter?
No, I think he's lighter.
Oh, I don't know. He's pretty tall, Rod. He's a big guy. Like I don't know. He's not like skinny. You think he's skinny looking?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
think he's got a whole. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he's got more muscle than I give him credit for. But both he and Igor, I think, got pushed around quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, and Igor looks big though. Like he looks like whatever 215 if that's what he's at. He looks like
217 listed. Yeah.
yeah, he looks like that out there. But I didn't notice I mean, I didn't notice him getting pushed around a ton, but I just thought his foot speed was off. It wasn't very fast. He's not very fast.
No, he's really not. Matthew Wedman was not noticeable. Did he play?
I have no
Was he?
idea who
He
that
might. I think he
is.
was a scratch. Maybe. No, Dao was the scratch. I
Yeah,
saw
no,
that.
he played, but yeah, didn't notice him.
No, not at all. Derek Brassard.
Underwhelming.
We talked about him there, but he was 57% in the dot and had 5 hits somehow. I didn't notice him at all.
Neither. I don't know. He's got some work to do to get a contract here, I think.
I thought Michael Dalcole. I think it was Graham Scott, our boy, who put out that asking us whose PTO was better, and I take Dalcole over Brassard after just today.
That's another guy who just looks enormous on the ice, eh?
Mm-hmm.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good along the walls, I thought, and stuff like that. That's
Yeah,
basically the only
100%.
place I kind of noticed Delcole was just on the half wall.
Nice. Well, we won't do that
Good
much more
battle.
often. I
Yeah,
just
run
we
through the
need to
whole roster.
we just need to
Remind
single out guys though, because there's so many guys there. 59 guys. I guess they sent home 3. There's 55 guys or 56 at camp right now. Like I need it to be
we gotta
the
start making
Winnipeg
some,
game will be fun for me personally, and
yeah.
then Wednesday's the best, where it's like, okay, Troy Mann starts working with his guys, and you'll keep a few around. I'm sure Dal
Yeah.
Colin and Brassard will get extended looks. Just keep 6 lines. Like
Ross, you gotta hope that they start making some cuts before those Winnipeg games. Otherwise, you might be getting a little bit of a barrel scraping roster there.
I expect it, but I've
Yeah.
got it on good authority from the GM that
The
they want to
Nodak
play
boys.
all the Nodak boys.
I love
So if
that.
Sanderson's here and Pinto's here, I'm good.
Yeah, and honestly, just Sanderson alone, I think, is worth being able to like go and watch live for the first time. I can't wait till I can go and see him for the first time. Like, yeah, it's exciting.
Graham's asking if I'm taking the fiance. I mean, technically, she's taking me. It's her dad's company tickets, so
Hey,
so she's taking me
treat
to
her
that
mommy.
one. Yeah, no doubt. But no, it'll be fun. I got the 5 a.m. shift. I'm actually hosting Jets at lunch or Jets at noon on the Sens game day, so that'll be fun to do that with Jim.
That's going to be a very Sen-centric Winnipeg radio.
Yeah, but I got to put my hat on. You know, I take off my Sen Central hat. I put on my little thinking CJOB cap, and away I go.
All right. Well, I expect you to at least be. I'll listen, and you should be pumping some Senators tires there on that radio station.
Well, it sounds like we've been pumping the tires of one particular senator a little much, as the trolls have gotten a hold of my latest tweet. It's something that happened at intermission. I think this is a good final topic to get into on today's postcast. And that's Elliot Friedman talking about the Jacob Chikrin situation and saying he doesn't think it was ever as close as maybe David Pagnotta from the fourth period had insinuated that the trade was at the draft. And Elliot Friedman says that Shane Pinto seems to be a guy where it's like make or break. Like if we don't get Shane Pinto, we're not making the trade with you guys. And I said, well, then it's just not happening. And I think that's Pierre Dorion's stance. I know it's Trent Mann's stance. But everyone else here that's quote tweeting away at Sens Central, they're saying, well, these Sens fans, they're overrating Shane Pinto. Like, where
That
are you
goes
at
to
with
show
all
you,
this?
man. That shows you right there that like the rest of the league and their fans aren't paying attention to the Ottawa Senators and their prospects, and they don't realize what we have there in Shane Pinto. And I think had he played last season, people would be singing a different tune. I think, right? But because he hasn't really played and people have forgotten, like he was so dominant for Nodak. Like he was the best player on the ice every night for that team, like no matter who they played. And he's big and he's smart and he's got a great shot, everything. Like a bit of a full package, and I think the Sens would be it would be scary to me if they ended up moving on from Shane Pinto at this point, right? I think that he's got a lot to prove still in the around the league probably, but in my eyes, like he holds a lot of value. And I like Jacob Chikrin as a player, but like that feels like it's becoming a bit of a forced fit, and I don't like that. Like where they're just like everybody's tunnel vision on Jacob Chikrin right now, and everyone is kind of leaving out the fact that he's a left shot guy. And he also had a rough summer with injuries, where he had 2 surgeries, one on his wrist and one on his I think ankle for bone spurs or bunions or something. I don't know, but those are tough. Those are tough things to go through on your body. So like, and I know his contract's great and he's still young too, but be very careful when acquiring Jacob Chikrin. And there's also like all kinds of people in the media right now who are like, I'll use Sean Simpson as an example, who are just like really riling up the fan base about Jacob Chikrin. I don't think we need to worry so much about that. I think that this is something that we can move, or we can focus on acquiring a defenseman like maybe 20 games into the season or something like that if it's an obvious hole on the team that is getting exposed on a night-to-night basis. But like, let's pump the brakes here. They've made a lot of changes, right? So let these current changes settle in and get used to being Sens. And then if they need to, then move on to Jacob Chikrin. And if there's a deal to be made, that's not going to, give up a big part of the future like Shane Pinto. To me, I hate the idea of trading Shane Pinto. Hate it.
I just muted that thread because once this guy Nathan Grav, I think his name is, I don't know, he's got 10,000 followers. I think he does some social work for Sportsnet, whatever it is. Obviously, it gets caught on by the Leafs fans, and I just don't feel like dealing with it right now. When you look at it, and Shane Pinto in particular, I understand what Nathan's quote tweet was saying. He's basically like, look, okay, you have Stützle and Norris locked in as your top 2 center, so that would leave the ceiling. No matter how good he is, that would mean the ceiling for Shane Pinto is a third line center in Ottawa. And when you have Ridley Gregg, he's saying like, why not bolster the defense when you still would have a good prospect who could be a third line center? I understand the thought process. I just think that he's too valuable. The fact he's a right shot just adds the cherry to it for me. With both the other guys being lefties and Casty as well, I think you need a little bit of a mix in there. And man, the special teams aspect to it as well. Like, and the fact that, man, if one guy's not going, you've got a third center deep. You need 3 guys in the league. What if an injury happens?
That's another thing. Like you can have a guy move up and down the lineup. Like just because he's not always your first or second line center doesn't mean he can't be on another night. And also, if he plays well enough to compete for a top 6 role on the team at this stage, right? Or like a couple years down the road, say he's like outgrowing being a third line center. What a great sorry, I almost dropped an F-bomb there, but what a great problem to have for them, right? Like now you get to make the decision. The ball's in your court. You can, if they feel like Shane Pinto's ready to take on that role, then I mean, maybe then you look at Norris and you look at maybe possibly moving him. I don't know, or like there's all kinds of things that they can do. It's just no rush. It's no rush.
Let's put it to poll because we got a lot of people in here. A lot of people in the comments. So, and you know what? I'm not even going to put it as a poll because I think Sens fans are pretty set. They know what they have in Shane Pinto. I'm on the same side. And it's not just that. It's knowing that Trent Mann literally threatened to quit if they traded away the pick that became Shane Pinto. Pinto has developed about as well as you would have hoped outside of injuries. And now Trent Mann is the assistant GM. He has more pull than he had before. They're not trading Shane Pinto. Whether you think they should or not, it's not the fans that are brain dead, as I blocked one guy who just tweeted that out. Like, I don't need that in my life. It's all good. Only good vibes. That to say, the brain dead part is not understanding the trickle down economics of what it would do to this team.
And it doesn't it's not going to take that much to pry Chychrun away. Now he's already asked for a trade. We've been on this side of things, right? Where you have a star player who's asking to get out of town. Do you get what you want for that player? No, you never do, ever. So let them sit on that. They're going to get restless, just like Chicago kind of did with DeBRINCAT, where they just decided they were going to trade him. I'm sure Arizona's not looking at Jacob Chychrun now saying, like, this guy's going to be through this rebuild the whole way through. It's just a matter of time before he gets shipped out somewhere. Someone's going to, pull the trigger on that deal. But I don't think, Dorion needs to be overly aggressive with it. I think that he can chill out and, present a good package that he's comfortable with and the team's comfortable with. And then, I bet Arizona will cave.
Yeah, I like what Eliam Inator, I think his name might be Liam. I'm not sure, but he also makes a good point. Like, Pinto's value is at the lowest it's ever going to be. Coming off a full season injury.
Out a whole year. Yeah.
Makes no sense for me. All right, let's wrap up. I know we got to roll, but
yeah, I got a jet soon here.
We quickly have to go through because I think you're going to get a kick out of this. The scratches have been announced for tonight. We will not see Ben Roger.
Yeah, okay.
Ben Roger scratched. Antoine Bibeau scratched. And the one guy I guaranteed to be in the lineup is scratched. Philip Dye was not playing.
That's what I said, right? I told you, they put him on both lineups just to scratch him on both lineups.
Oh my God. But what do you think of that? They're literally putting Jorian Donovan in a preseason game before Ben Roger.
Yeah. Not a good sign for old Benny boy. Hopefully he's able to get at least one preseason game in just as to gauge where he's at and just
it better not be in Winnipeg. I'm not paying money to see that, Martian.
No, but that's kind of the kind of guy that they're going to put in the lineup when they go to Winnipeg, I think.
All right, get out of here, dude. All right, the Ottawa Senators lose 4-1. Any final thoughts, though? I'm not going to actually shut you up because you're making me watch Ben Roger on Tuesday night. But no. What was your final impression when you're at this get-together later and they say, hey, Cam, you got to see the Sens game? What happened? What are you going to tell them?
Yeah, it's just exciting to see Sens hockey again and some new faces in the lineup and some nice young fresh faces also performing well like Jake Sanderson. So I'm just excited, and I'm specifically more excited. When you look at that top line, that was really the highlight when they were on the ice. Mm-hmm. That's what people paid to come see. There really wasn't a lot of great depth in the lower half of the lineup for the Sens. The players in there, essentially, most of them are plugs, right? They're just not good players. So I'm really excited for when they start narrowing things down and get that really core group all together again in a game. And that's when the Sens are going to look like what the Sens we can expect in the regular season are. I don't think tonight was a good indication at all of what we're going to see for the rest of the year.
Well, we're about 2.5 hours away from another preseason game. No postcast after that one. We've all got our own commitments we've got to get to, but enjoy the games tonight. Next time you'll hear from us is going to be Monday morning with Locked On Senators. We're going to have more thoughts on the first 2 preseason games and get into who should be cut and who should be kept as training camp will dwindle down in numbers. Go follow at Laleem's Martian on Twitter if you don't already. You can also follow at Sen Central. Please subscribe to the YouTube account Locked On Senators, and we've got a giveaway going on our Sen Central Twitter account. At Fighting STÜTZLE will be giving away a signed Jeff Sanderson Hartford Whalers card. Great get if you're a card guy. So go retweet. Make sure you let us know that you're subscribed to Locked On Senators on YouTube. For The Martian, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the POSTCAST presented by the Locked On Senators podcast.
The POSTCAST is back.
It's your team every day.